Hi, welcome back to the Diamond channel. If you're new to me, thanks very much for watching this video. I'm Chris Bilton, I'm a jeweller from the UK. I'm now living in Japan making jewellery making instructional videos with the knowledge and experience I gained as a professional jeweller for over 20 years back home. I'm halfway through making a full instructional guide and time's going on and going on. I want to keep these uploads coming regularly, so I'm having a break from that and I'm going to stop and do a quick beginner's guide. And today I'm concentrating on the tool known as dividers. Very, very essential, very useful. Use them all the time when I'm making stuff. So if you're starting out making jewellery, get a pair of these, a set of these dividers. I actually see this tool as something primarily for scoring a line on metal parallel to an edge. So you'd hook that on one side of a bit of metal and then draw down, and then you get a little parallel line going down there. So it might be useful for getting a certain measurement. If you're cutting out a strip of metal from a plate or something, you can just get that line down there. So that's what it's mostly useful for. But there's 2 points here. You can turn this and get any kind of distance between them you want. So it's kind of a measuring gauge as well. Like if you need something the same, just get it, adjust it to whatever you need, and then you can get that same distance marked out anywhere else. They can be used for drawing a circle on metal. Say you've got to cut out a disc. Get a little point in there, then one of your points, your dividers. Just carefully go around it, pushing the weight into the center, and you should be able to turn a nice circle. And then mark that out. Perfect little disc cut out for you. I'm not actually good at this. Like, where's that skull ring? Like, I was working on this, I was trying to draw where I was going to position the stones, and I was just making a right mess of it. In the end, I just drilled a hole and then got the phrase out where I wanted the stone to sit. That was much easier for me. But some jewellers, especially setters, are really good at marking out little circles with these. It's a bit of skill, it takes a bit of practice to do that. I've never been very good at it, but yeah, it is a tool good for drawing circles on things. I think it gets more tricky when the metal you're drawing a circle on is curved. When it's something flat like this, it's quite easy. So with drawing circles in mind, it is essentially a compass, like you get in any kind of stationery shop. Use them at school all the time. That's a pair of dividers, but just one end is replaced by a pencil holder. As for looking after them, it is a tool with moving parts, so a little bit of care is needed. Keep the point sharp. This one's terrible condition, I need to sharpen these, but like I say, I use these more often, so I keep these sharp. And another thing, where you've got this thread here, if it gets all bits in it and stuff, it might not feel very nice when you're turning it. So I would just get some bit of wire, bit of cocktail stick, just get some oil, just oil the thread. I've got 2 pairs. You don't need 2 pairs at all, but sometimes it is useful. Like I've got one marked out, like say I was doing circles across a piece. I've got that marked out, that distance is correct. I don't want to change it because then I have to measure it carefully and get it in the same position. So if I need to draw a line on something else or another part of the jewellery that I'm making, it's just nice to have a second pair that you can adjust and not worry about losing the position you've got for doing circles, because you might need to do more of those circles and they've got to be exactly the same. Okay, so that's kind of it. I want to keep the uploads coming to the channel quite regularly, so I'm having a break from a new full instructional guide that I'm making. I'm about a quarter of the way through it, but I don't want to spend days and days in getting that sorted and then no new videos coming on the channel. So I'm having a break from doing that just to do this quick beginner's guide. So I'll give you a heads up, I'll show you now. Gonna be a ring for these 3 stones. Ooh. So I was torn between 2 different style rings to make with those stones. The stones are laid out the same, but mounted completely differently. So it might be an idea to actually, I'll set the stones in the first ring, and then you can see that ring, and then we'll do another full instructional guide, but make it completely differently, but with the stones laid out the same, just to give you ideas about what is possible for different ring designs. Anyway, before I end the video, I've got to say a big thank you to a new patron, Janet Wise. She's a regular commenter on the channel, so I really appreciate her. She's always very positive and seems to be getting a lot out of my videos, so I really appreciate her enthusiasm for my videos and keeps me motivated to make more. So thank you, Janet. Really appreciate you becoming a patron now. So if you too would like to become a patron, I'll put a link in the description and that'll take you to the Patreon webpage where you can choose between either becoming a supporter patron, that's just £1 a month. It's not a real big financial obligation, but if you appreciate my content and my effort for teaching everything I know, yeah, it just goes towards me being able to continue doing this, because it does cost money. Like this camera was £1,000. I need a new laptop to do all the editing and the editing software. So I'm already like £2,000 down for starting this channel. Camera stand's all worn out. This camera's literally fallen off the camera and banged on the floor twice now. I'm a bit scared of having it actually break. Chair's dodgy, keeps sinking down. Like, you know, you need new buff paper, drills and stuff, or it all costs money to keep this going. I need to buy more silver as well for making things. So yeah, it's quite an expensive hobby. You probably already know that if you're buying tools and things for yourself. So yeah, even the supporter patrons, I really appreciate that if you would like to support me with that £1 a month. Next, we got the classic patrons. That's £5 a month, and you get the shout out on the channel. You get all future videos on the channel 2 weeks before anybody else on YouTube. Also, you will then have access to all future full instructional guides, which I'm trying to do more of, just to give more value to those patrons. On YouTube, I upset some people, but you're only going to get part 1 now. Some of these full instructional guides are going to have like 2 or 3 parts. So only part 1 is going to be in full, usually be about 20 minutes, half an hour. And then the rest of the full instructional guide will only be for patrons of the channel. So being a classic patron gets you that privilege. And then the main one is official patron, where you get your shout out, you get the videos 2 weeks before anybody else on YouTube. Yeah, you obviously get the access to the full instructional guides. Also, there's a lot of exclusive content. I'm trying to upload lots of things. I've got my own little private little projects. I'm like, don't feature in the videos. I show things about them. Any advice I've got about working on certain gemstones or things, little stories from my past, just whatever's going on in my life related to jewellery, I will try and keep you informed about that. Because if you're endeavouring to learn about jewellery, it's just kind of interesting what someone else is doing who's got like a few years experience. So yeah, I try and add as much value as I can to those guys, because they're spending the most. They're spending £10 a month. So I really appreciate those guys. And yeah, there's a couple of those now. So thank you guys. I really appreciate your generosity to become an official patron. And I hope over time I get more full instructional guides down, and then this £5–10 a month is going to be ridiculously good value compared to paying someone hundreds of pounds to get on a jeweller's online course. Because what I'm teaching, because I'm a real jeweller, I'm not a YouTuber, I'm a real jeweller who just has this opportunity in my life at the moment to make these videos. So I'm really giving you real experience, real jeweler's experience, and not just workshop stuff, like being in the trade and being shop staff as well, because I'm front line. I'm not just like a hunchback jeweller in a dusty old workshop making stuff. I'm like serving customers and dealing with people. So I've done it all, kind of. So I'm really sharing a lot of real jeweller's experience. So that's why I think my patron full instructional guides, as there's going to be like unlimited amount in the future, it's going to be really good value just to pay like between £5 or £10 a month. I think that's a really good deal, even though some people are complaining already about that. So anyway, I'll end it there. Thank you very much for watching till the very end. I know I always waffle on a little bit. Yeah, see you soon. I'm going to keep uploading, and don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be notified of more videos coming very soon. Thanks, bye. Okay, bonus feature. I was just editing the video and I realised I forgot some stuff that I use dividers for. So I'm back here in the middle of the night. Dividers, yeah? Let me show you close up. You can see this ring, yeah, got drill holes all the way around it for stones, pave set in. To do this, I'd be using my dividers a lot. First of all, I would just guess halfway. What I do is I do a line down one side, just guessing. And then I turn it around, I draw a line using the other side. And then even if that first line wasn't directly down the middle, like these were not opened up enough, it would end up, from going from both sides, you end up drawing 2 lines down the middle, or a kind of thick line, and basically in between those 2 lines is the middle. It's kind of, as long as they're close enough, you don't really need to worry about hitting it dead straight in the middle with one line. I just do both sides, and then you know for sure. I hope that made sense. Next, dividers. once I've got my stones marked out, my technique, which looks really bodge jobby, I draw the stones on, yeah. But once I've got the amount on that I want to use, because sometimes, you know, customers, they say, like, do these stones around here? They've only got like 20 stones. You've got to make 20 stones fit, so you have to space them out perfectly, just for whatever. Working with customers' budgets, you have to do things not ideal sometimes, so you might feel that that's not enough stones, but customer really can't spend any more money or really doesn't want to spend any more money, so you have to kind of make it work. Anyway, so yeah, you've got your stones marked out. To get it really accurate, really perfect, you then use your dividers to draw a little line. I would put it in one dot, just carefully mark it, and then you line it up the next one, carefully mark it, line it up with that one, and then carefully mark it. With just these gentle marks, first of all, I would get it all, make sure it's correct, and then I'd score it much deeper. Perhaps even just push it in like that, and then that catches in that dot, and then push it in that one. Then with those little dots, you can, tell you what I do exactly, I've mentioned it loads of times, I get a really small ball phrase and I just make it more of a profound dip, and then I would go to my drill and drill that out. So it all starts with the dividers. Some jewelers just stab it really hard, but I've mentioned plenty of times I don't like doing that because just from previous experience I have slipped and put a big gouge in it, and then if it goes over the corner you kind of ruin your piece a bit. So do it if you get away with it and you're confident, but me, I'm nervous because I've had an accident in the past. Anyway, off subject a little bit. Dividers, starts with dividers, marked halfway and then spaced out the stones with dividers, so an important tool for that. And I just picked up my phone off the charger. I got another patron, and Aaron Andujar pledged £5. Thank you, Aaron, I really appreciate that. So this is great, I've got like 18, 19 patrons now, so it's really working. This channel has got a future. we can keep it rolling over and keep it going. So yeah, thank you Aaron, thank you to all the patrons. This is really great news, and I'm kind of astounded that this is kind of growing the way it is. Yeah, wonderful. Every time I feel like energized to do more work for you, because you accept money from someone, you're in service to them. So yeah, I'm going to do my best. I really will. Thank you.